YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Rome 2, and this time I've got a Pontus vs. Baktria battle, and I decided to bring pikes. Pontic pikes are actually really good for the price. I didn't know what their stats were, and I hadn't looked at their price recently, so for the price, they're actually better than thorax swordsmen for just a moderate price increase. Now, again, though, they're pikes, and part of the reason I'm going to bring pikes in as much as I can, and some of you may run into me online and be like, oh, sweet, well, Heir's going to bring pikes, I'll know how to counter him. I may not do it every time, so don't necessarily just be counting on me doing the same thing every time, but I am going to bring them a lot because I want to mess around with their armies, and here my opponent picked Baktria, which is going to be a tough challenge. So I expected armored elephants and thorax swords. My opponent, though, at first all I can see is his armored elephants, which are hiding way back here in the back of the map. And then he's got his horse archers that are going to come start assailing me. And he probably wants me to move forward to him. I'm not going to do that, especially with all these rocks and stuff around. That'd be terrible terrain for my pikemen. Definitely not what I want to do. So I'm going to sit around and I'm going to fast forward for a minute and just kind of let you all see how the skirmishing plays out. He kind of plays some cat and mouse with my guys. He just wants to scoot in, shoot, and scoot out. And that's a good way to use horse archers, and he's pretty patient here. I get a little impatient thinking, horse archers can't skirmish for crap, but he may be skirmishing on his own because I'm not getting anywhere close to him, and one of my noble blood cav actually gets chewed up pretty bad there, faster than I thought it would even. But hey, I'm getting him to spend some ammo, and the important thing is that I get finished with this fight with enough ammo to kill his elephants. If that happens, I'm feeling okay. So my general setup, I've got 5 bronze shield pikemen, I think, and then I've got 4 Pontic swordsmen. So bronze shield pikemen, here's their stats. They got 41 melee attack, which is pretty high for a pikeman. And then they got decent armor and defense stats. Not great, but decent. And their base morale is pretty good. So that's one of the things that you get with them. Also, they have an encourage aura, which is a nice feature for them, so you can see that they actually encourage other units in the army. Whenever I hold that down, you can see all the blue circles. That's the encourage aura. And my opponent is going to find that I'm kind of going to adjust to his little skirmishing tactic. I'm going to keep my my standard archers up front, forcing him, because his archer range is only 125, he's going to have to move inside the 150 range of my bowman. And what he's trying to do, though, still is to scoot up, take a shot, and run away. And you can see that it works sometimes. Some of my shots fall short. But I have enough ammo and time to be patient. If he runs out of ammo with his horse archers, it's not likely that he's going to have a whole lot more skirmishers. He could, though, because I can't see anything that he has at this point. But you can see that he's actually starting to screw up, and some of his horsemen are starting to die. Plus, he's spending a lot of ammunition here. But horse archers are still a handy unit. I'm going to have to keep an eye on them, because once the infantry fight starts, I can't just let these guys get behind my line and kill my own archers. I need them to kill his elephants. So yeah, you can see here, I'm just going to keep his horse archers busy, try and cause as many losses to as I can, make it frustrating for him. And he's going to come in and he's going to keep putting down a few shots here and there, and it's not bad, but he'll lose men quicker than he can afford, because horse archers are already fewer men than a foot archer unit by about... there's 30 more men in the foot unit, so, and I have the range advantage. So basically that forces my opponent to realize that he doesn't want to sit here and do this all day. I'm not going to move up. Like I said, I'm not going to come up here and attack him uphill through ragged terrain that's going to be no good for my pikes. I have no reason to do so. I will come to meet him once he moves forward some, though. And here is the point at which his army becomes visible. This is what I expected, Bactrian Noble Horse. An obvious pick for Baktria. They're good for the price, extremely good for the price. So there's no reason to not bring these guys. And then my opponent, though, brought pikemen of his own. See, their stats are actually quite a bit lower than my pikemen, but he matches me for numbers. And then I've got he's got Indian armored elephants, and he's also got, looks like 4 units of Bactrian peltist, which are a heavy peltist, meaning that they have good armor, decent attack stats for a peltist, and then they're going to have pretty good javelin damage too. So at this point, my opponent takes his horse archers far to the rear, probably just hoping to get into my archers. I'm going to go ahead and move forward, and I'll keep a unit of citizen cav in the back just to keep an eye on his horse archers, keep them away from my own foot archers. I want to move up and get ready to engage him. I don't mind just taking a straight-up infantry engagement here, so I start moving my infantry forward. And I had my swords on the flank, but for some reason it got screwed up, and some of my swords went up the center when I did this. So I must have accidentally moved some unit cards or something, because I thought I had my unit cards lined up right. And this ends up screwing me up a little bit in the actual fight, but we'll watch what happens here. He brings a Bactrian Noble Horse forward. And I start clicking attack orders with my pikes so that they'll move forward with their pikes down. And this is going to hopefully force his cavalry back. Yeah, once I get attack orders in, my men will start dropping their pikes and moving forward. Here he actually brings his Baktria Noble Horse into the flank of my pikemen. And then here comes his horse archers as expected, and then his elephants coming down a flank as expected. So I have to go counter this. I wasn't in the best position, and then these guys, he actually pulls through my pikes and again goes after my archers, because he knows that if he gets rid of my archers, it's going to go pretty well for him. My pikes are better than his, but his have an uphill advantage, and you'll notice that the pikes, see this is a sword unit here, I'm actually going to pull them back. Let my pikes fight this. The pikes like just won't engage each other. I have attack orders on all these pikes, but they just stand there. Like, so as soon as a pike like kind of touches a unit with the end of its sarissa, they just stop and sit there. And this is the problem that I've been telling you all about with pikes on Rome 2. They're just, this is why they're not any good. It's like, see, even when it's pike on pike, look, wow, look at this fight here. This is insane. And yes, all these guys have attack orders. I clicked attack orders multiple times. His pikemen here get a little bit out of position, so I start onto their flank with my swordsmen. Yeah, I mean, formation attack units here act pretty weird. Makes me wonder if I should try taking these guys out of formation to do this type of attack. So again, another attack order, and they're still barely moving forward. My general's still just sitting there. These guys barely moving forward. I mean, my guys statistically can win this fight. They're just not pushing up and doing it in most places. Now, my opponent does fail to kill all my archers with his units. I have one unit left here, but he does kill most of them. But I've had his elephants slowed down over here, and I've brought pikes in too. And I've actually managed to catch several of his elephants with pikes. Archers are a great counter to elephants, but pikes are too. If you can get them in there with their pikes down, they will kill elephants. It's one of the few redeeming qualities that they have. It's just not very easy to do. So yeah, in any case, my opponent's losing men back here, losing the ability to keep his elephants safe. So yeah, here he's going to try and charge towards me, but again, I'm still following him with the pikemen, but again, see how they don't drop their pikes, and the elephants are just going to mow right through them. So again, the whole time the pikes had an attack order, but they had their pikes up with the attack order, which doesn't make sense. And again, up here, we'll just call this up here like non-action alley. There's very little action going on. After multiple attack orders, some of my pikes are attacking, my general's still not. These guys still aren't. And it looks like these guys are trying, but not doing a whole lot. So yeah, I mean, this is why pikes are not recommended. And I'm showing this because I'm hoping that this will come to the attention of Creative Assembly, and I really want some focus on them. Like, I think the pikes would do fine, like even with their stats the way they are now, if they would at least just push forward. And I need to do some tests. I'm going to take them out of formation, leave them in formation, try long lines, try thin lines, try blocky formations. Like, I'm going to have to try a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you can see that I do click attack orders, and sometimes they'll attack and they'll do okay, but then they'll just stop moving forward all of a sudden. So see like right there, they just quit moving. Maybe it's the formation attack. I need to check into it, but whatever it is, again, look at these guys just staring each other down like, hey man, I dare you to move. No, you move first. You know, it gets kind of weird. All right, so as far as the rest of the battle goes, now with the enemy cavalry dead, the enemy elephants dead, my opponent's not going to be able to protect his back lines. So I've got Pontus swordsmen coming around. And again, since the pike fight is accomplishing very little right now, it leaves me in a perfect position for this kind of thing. Get some hammer and anvil charges on his pikes. That's going to be a quick knockout. Yeah, my noble blood cav are going to damage his pikemen badly. He still has ammo with these Baktria and Peltas, so I'm surprised because they've been throwing a lot of javelins, and they still have ammo. Oh, they have 10 ammunition. Good grief! Wow, that's a fantastic javelin unit right there. Then. Anyway, he doesn't have them on skirmish, so my swordsmen actually catch them here. And then he's actually killing my cavalry with his Baktria and Peltas here by throwing javelins at him. Not a bad move for him. I only have one Baktria and horseman left here, and it was up against that phalanx that I hadn't been paying attention to. But at this point, it's a little too late. I got my opponent outflanked. We're going to end up cutting him down. I've got a unit of archers left. I've got everything I need to mop him up. So it was an interesting battle, pike on pike. You don't see that very often, but I can't say that it yielded very interesting results, other than, you know, rarely pushing forward and doing anything, which is kind of weird. It kind of makes me want to do a test real quick, and I think I will. Let's quit the replay. I'll let you see the... well, actually, it didn't pop up the results because I didn't let it go to the end. Let's go into a custom battle real quick. I'm just absolutely curious here. What is... Yeah, sure, basic setup. Alright, so it's unit roster. Let's get Pontus again because they have some decent pikes. And let's get the Arverni. They'll be a decent faction to try out with this. Let's put some Oathsworn for them because I want infantry, like all infantry fighting against me. Okay. And I probably won't give them all Oathsworn because the Oathsworn are pretty strong. Let's just give them some Chosen Swordsmen. Alright, and this map should be okay. The AI is the attackers. Let's start this up and just... oh, I brought one too many pikes. Oh well, I'll just make sure that they don't outflank me for the sake of... And I just want to do some testing here, see if we can actually get the pikes to push. Because if we can, they might be useful. But that's the biggest problem that I see with them here, is that they're just... Oh wow, it's nighttime. Didn't know that was going to happen. I'm going to leave my pikes in a pretty blocky formation here. So hopefully as to make them more maneuverable. Alright, the computer does try really hard to avoid your pikes head-on, so I'm expecting that from him. Let's just try something here. I'm going to take 3 of these guys out of formation attack, leave 2 of them in formation attack, and just see if we can see any difference between the units. This is going to be best if you don't test against the AI, if you actually just test against another human, of course. That is always the recommendation.
Cut them down! Ready and waiting! Shield pikes!
Make sure my bronze shields have attack orders. Again, the AI will scramble and try and get around your flank, which is to be expected.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Okay, so I've got the fight started. Let's see. No formation attack. My pikes let themselves get charged here without actually dropping their pikes, even though they had an attack order. Let's see, I don't know what these guys are doing. These guys let themselves get outflanked. Are they pushing? I mean, they're staying engaged. These pikemen actually did manage to turn and attack. Yeah, they just don't really seem like they're pushing still. I mean, they're doing okay, but definitely no pushing going on here. Look at that weird reformation there. So I took them out of formation. It does seem like they get their pikes down maybe a little better out of formation. Maybe let's get them really blocky here and see if they can form up better. We are killing enemy units, of course, when it's head-on only, but not very quickly. You can see how long it takes to cut down an enemy unit. Like these guys that are now up on my flank, they're going to be killing my pikes as quick as my pikes are killing them. So it's not going to be all that hard to counter them, even if you went head-on with the right units. Yeah, see, my general still won't push, even out of formation attack. Let's try giving like a walk order. See if we can push into these guys. Kind of looks like they are there, but look, they're not killing them. They just march up to them. Well, we kind of pushed them back, but didn't really do much by way of killing. Probably, if anything, just put them more on my flank. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with pikes. I mean, they're just not aggressive for whatever reason. I think if they would be more aggressive, it'd be good. I mean, you don't want them to be like wood chippers that just chop down enemy units really quick, because then that'd be too strong. So I'm okay that the kill rate's a little slower, but I mean, look here. I mean, see how they push forward, and then these guys are all already around their flank. I think pikes would probably work better, number 1, against a formation attack unit. Let myself get surrounded here, so this chosen sword unit's gonna have a heyday with me. Let's see, over here. Looks like I'm actually starting to win that. I mean, my guys, again, just won't move. I mean, you can click attack orders, but then as soon as they engage, see how they stop? It's like I have to sit here and spam attack orders to make them do anything. See that? If I spam attack orders, it's actually working. But I mean, who has time to do this in the middle of a fight, right? See, that's what pikes need to do. See that slow thrust forward from my spammed attack orders? That's what I want to see pikemen doing in the game. Like actually moving forward, actually trying to thrust against an enemy. Yeah, look at that. There's the secret.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Yeah, but again, who has time to do this in the fight? See how much better they do with that going on? So I think their stats are good. You know, I've been complaining about their stats. I honestly, I don't even think the stats are the problem anymore. I think it's just their aggression factor is like just not there. Maybe you could put like some kind of button on them or something that would make them, like, I don't know if there's like some kind of computer functionality like where you can create a button that constantly is making them attack like repeatedly like I'm doing here. Because if they did that, it would actually work. Look at my guys there not putting their pikes down. Seriously? Then where are you going? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Really need some kind of solution to this. This is just funky. See, once I start spamming the attack orders, the pikes push forward. And, I mean, this is all I want to see from them, just a push. Again, I don't even think they need a stat increase based on what I'm seeing here. They'd be perfectly fine if they just do some of this pushing. And look, the front of them's not invulnerable. They're still Oathsworn getting into there. They're still killing some of my men, but my men are doing a better job of actually using their spiny formation to accomplish something here. Yeah, you just have to sit here and spam attack orders with pikes, which is completely and totally worthless in the middle of the fight. Let's see if we can actually do it en masse here. I mean, it is an interesting trick to know here that spamming an attack order will help your guys, but at the same time, look how they get out of formation too. I have to try this with formation attack on, but I mean, it does seem to help. Yeah, I actually got my men to push in here and kill these guys. So, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Don't understand entirely how the mechanics of the game, but that's what I want right there. That's all I want from pikes, is to not have to sit there and spam those attack orders. They actually attack rather than sit there in their duffs whenever they touch something with the end of their pike. So, again, maybe there's some kind of button or function that can be created that does pretty much automatically what I was doing there. Like if you activate that certain stance for your pikes, it'll just kind of spam attack orders against that unit for them so that they'll follow it down, like call it aggression or pike charge or whatever you, pike thrust or whatever you want to call it. Like just get something in there, it'd be helpful. In any case, hope y'all enjoyed this. Just a little insight into pikes there. It's kind of interesting for me. I didn't know this until I just tried it right there, but that's kind of the point of testing. Anyway, I'll see you all soon. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.